thank you guys for sitting down with me today to talk about some MDK content stuff and what we've helped you with, and how the brand's doing now. Take me back to the beginning. Like, how do you think MDK was perceived before we got involved? Like, where were you at?
From my point of view, I think we were kind of stuck in the past a little bit. We were kind of seen as a more 90s company because that's when it started, and we were kind of stuck a little bit with our branding, stuck a little bit with just the customer's perception of us, just because we'd done things the same way for so long and we hadn't moved anything on. And it was really time just for us to make the image stronger, changing the perception of the customer and working with someone who could help us bring that to life.
We didn't have any video, and since I've joined and been able to introduce that with yourselves, we've been able to modernise the way our products are viewed.
So what sort of problems were you facing then at that time before we got involved?
Basically, our customer database needed something better from us. So we were able to provide flat images, but with the way the world was moving, everything needs to be more digital. People needed to see something in real time and in real life. Imagery did it justice to an extent, but being able to spin the chair, move the chair, show how the chair moves up and down, how the arms move, this is what the customer database needed from us. Yeah. And at the time, we just weren't able to do it. We tried ourselves at one point with our own phones to do something, but the production quality just wasn't where we are now. It was very amateur, and we looked at it and we decided that we needed to bring a professional in to make sure that it was the best it could be.
So what was stopping you from doing it yourselves, really?
I just think it was the end result. Everyone has ideas, anyone can come with a storyboard and what they think is going to look great, but you need a professional to come in to give it that professional, crisp, clean finish. So it looked very amateur, even from an amateur's point of view. It felt amateur. The production quality we have now is just completely different. It looks like we've had experts come in and shoot the video for us, because we have. Even little things you did for us, like when you ran the light down the curves of the chair to highlight the mesh, to show the accent curves of the chair. That's just not something we would have been able to do ourselves. It was you guys saying, why don't we try this? This is how we'll get the best result. We'd have never got there with that ourselves, so we needed you to come along and do that for us.
So as a company, where do you want MDK to go from here?
We've got sort of 2 or 3 videos with you guys at the moment. The end goal is to have a video for every product. So obviously, as you know now from working with us for a while, a product family is 5 or 6 chairs. They're always the same in the way they move and the way they look. There might be a slightly different feature, but to get a product video per chair is really high on our list to make sure we achieve that in the very near future. Also, just to be able to market ourselves better. So people want to know about our business, where we've come from, our heritage, how it began. Some real good content videos of how the company does its business, or how we go about manufacturing, where we started, where we are now. The story behind the brand needs to be shown, and that's something big. That's something big we need to do with you guys in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, it's a really interesting story. It's really unique.
When people find out for the first time, it really does engage people. They're like, really? You're like, yeah, it's true. This is how it all started. So that story is quite a strong story, and I think we've actually developed business off the back of that. So who knows how much more we could get if we could make that a professional presentation and start being able to show that to the world.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Shabs? Where do you see the content thing going?
So for me, as someone from marketing, we want to be able to deliver as much content to the customer as possible, have a lot of resources available for them. At the moment, we do 3D renders, so to have imagery of the chair, such as photos and a video to go alongside that would, take our chairs from, just a still image to, a full video. And I think our customers would really appreciate that when it comes to making decisions on what product to purchase.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to mention the showroom we're sat in now.
Oh, definitely.
So, we spent, nearly £50,000 developing the showroom, making sure it looks the way it does. And to be able to do that justice and to drive customers in, we need to do something content-wise as a little sneak peek or a teaser to get people to come in and see it for themselves. We'll be talking to you guys about that too.
What made you want to work with us? I know we had a history anyway, from a previous company. So what was it about us that you wanted to work with?
Because I know the way you work. I know that I can tell you what I want from the shot and you'll be able to deliver that. Who'd know a chair could do so many and have so many functions with it, and I knew you were the right team to capture that. And then after that, you understand how things need to be edited, and that's really important.
What was your first impression from after working with us? What was the key changes or key takeaways that you can sort of share what happened after that first video?
For me, being on site and being in your studio and being there during the shoot, seeing how you interacted with us, listening to what we asked for, adapting it, adding your expertise to it, making it so our idea was better than the original. That for me, when I walked away, I thought, right, these guys, we're going to get on, because they're going to understand that what we need to do is give you a storyline and then go and use your own creativity to make it bigger and better than probably what we currently think it is.
Okay.
As you can see from our first Way video you did from us, you got the brief. It was very clear to see that you'd get the brief from day one, and you guys take an interest in us, you know.
Yeah.
We talk regularly, content plans with you guys, fantastic idea. We hadn't thought about that until you suggested it. It's just the whole building of a relationship that's important to us. We're as interested in you as you are as in us, and that's important for us.
Yeah.
For me, it's the turnaround.
Yeah.
So from shooting the video to having it back in-house, I feel as though that's a quick and seamless process. You tell us straight up if something is achievable or if, you know, we need to work on it on a different way. And we've always managed to get that end result. So that to me is what makes us want to work with you.
If another company was in the position that MDK was, you know, a few years ago, what would you say to them when it comes to content? Like, what would you say? Would it help them get out of where they were, or, you know, what would you say to them?
I'd say that the world's evolving. Flat imagery doesn't do any product justice. I think when you need to promote something and sell something without video content, you're going to find it very difficult to make a sale or an impression, just at least on a customer. I think if you want to drive the status of your business, the status of your product, the elevation of your brand, it's important to get into video.
Yeah. Do you find that as well? Do you know, when it comes to even social media? I know you guys currently aren't really on the, you know, the TikToks or the Instagrams and stuff, but obviously depending on where the business is going to go, obviously you're B2B. So do you think people need to be on those platforms still, or is that something you're exploring maybe for the future?
I think for perhaps the people side of the business, it would be good to have some kind of presence online. I think that's the fun side of it all, to show who works here. Whereas I still find that people in this industry aren't on those platforms similarly to us.
Yeah.
So I don't think necessarily that we need to head in that direction at the moment, but certainly sort of like, you know, meet the people or meet the team or have a, you know, factory overview and see something in production, because that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
As someone who goes on social media, I like to look at factories and see how something's made, even if I'm not in. It's interesting. So there might be people out there who are interested in that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I think you mentioned the people behind the business as well. It's like humanising of the brand. I think no matter the business, that needs to happen, because people buy from people. And I think, you know, anyone that's not showing the face behind the business is kind of, you know, they're going to get left behind, I think, eventually. So I think it's always good to show that human element as well.
Yeah.
I think if your customers are on social media, you've got to be on social media.
Yeah.
Just because the way our industry is, it isn't really that heavy usage in social media. LinkedIn being the exception.
Yeah.
We do a fair bit on LinkedIn, but TikTok and Facebook and all that sort of stuff, because we're B2B, like you say, I think that's more of a B2C market.
Yeah.
If we were selling to the general public, we'd be all over it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've spoken to a lot of marketing managers over my time about their struggles when it comes to creating content themselves, and I think the thing that I've gathered from them all is that they lack time, they're stretched thin, they've got so many different tasks that need to be going on at one time that they don't have time to really knuckle down and get that content output, because you need to be consistent as well. So what do you find? What are the struggles behind that? Is it the time? Is it the sort of justifying the spend to leadership that don't really understand, is there going to be an ROI to this? We're spending this much money. Is there going to be a return on that? What's your struggles, do you feel?
For me, yeah. Time is a big thing. And I think for us, we have a plan of what we want to do in the next 12 months, but it sort of never goes to plan because something new creeps up and we put all of our energy into that. So I think we need to be more flexible with our content plan and change the way we think to say, actually, you know, we have that like in pencil and then be able to change that. And I think I've adapted now. So I'm able to be like, okay, we'll pause that and we'll start something new without it getting to me.
Okay.
Because I think when you put a lot of time and effort into making something ready and then someone turns around and says to you, actually no, scratch that, we're going with something else.
Yeah.
And I think in marketing you have to be flexible. You get trends coming up, new trends, so you need to be able to follow that, be that with style, colours. We need to be up there with trend changes.
Yeah, definitely. Someone in that position of a company like MDK where, before the content, what would you say to someone that was considering working with us, Chrome Video, that was having sort of hesitations with that?
I think for any company, spending money on something new to them is scary. Sometimes you've got to dip a toe in the water. We were fortunate enough to be able to work with someone that the result far outweighed the cost for us. Like I say, the first video you produced for us was such high quality, Hollywood-esque almost, you could say. We were just really pleased with the output at the end. But obviously it is a bit of a battle getting the okay to spend the money in the first place. What I'd say is take a risk. Sometimes you've got to take risks in business. Yeah. And for the cost it actually ended up being versus the quality we got at the end of it, I think the quality far outweighs the cost.
Yeah. I really appreciate your time.
No worries.
I can't wait to do some more videos with you guys.
100%.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.